everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing my much anticipated Apollycon 2026 book haul. I'm going to include all the books I took out with me, any books I picked up there that were just like standard editions, as well as all the books I got signed, bought at the convention, special editions I pre-ordered, just like everything. I'm also going to include some gorgeous artwork and other merchandise items that I picked up at the convention. And I have over 60 books to go through. How I got 60 books back in 2 suitcases plus everything else, like all my clothes and toiletries, I have no idea. I have also just uploaded my Apollycon vlog, so if you want to see what I got up to and a bit about the convention and a bit more about what it was like to be a ticket holder, then you can go and watch that. I went as a Primal ticket holder. I'm going to try and say as I go through these books, like whether I took them, whether I bought them there, whether it was a pre-order, whether it's just like a standard paperback but it's the US edition, but the Primal ticket people did get some additional books in bags and things like that, so I'll try and remember where everything came from. Without further ado, there is a lot to dive into, so let's go. And I'll be saving all the artwork and merch and bits and bobs until the end of the video. First up, I'm going to start with the books I took with me to get signed. So these are all books I already owned that I just took with me to get signed by authors at the event. And up first we have books 2 to 4 of the From Blood and Ash series. These are the beautiful Arcane editions. These have to be my favourite special editions of this series, and I have quite a few, but only the first one came with a physical signature. But all of the other books have this perfect like space left in the artwork, so I had to take books 2, 3, 4 and 5 to get signed. So those books would be A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, The Crown of Gilded Bones, The War of Two Queens. These were possibly the heaviest thing I had to bring back, and A Soul of Ash and Blood. And again, as I mentioned, every single one of them, it's like they were meant to be signed or stamped or something, because there is a little space there for it. I also took to get signed with me my Proof of Lies That Summon the Night by Sonia Odette. This I've had for a couple of months now. The book actually came out in February. I still haven't got around to reading this, but I do love Sonia Odette. I've got some other books from her to show you later on that I pre-ordered, but I had to take my proof knowing that I was going to see her there. I have quite a few books that I've got signed by Pen Cole because I've been very lucky to meet her a few times now, but my favourite editions I have of this so far are actually these US sprayed edge, really metallic-y versions. This is the 3rd book, so last time I saw Pen Cole was at Rare London, and this book wasn't out at the time in this version, so I obviously had to take this to get signed to match my other 2. Did I get this signed? I did. I was panicking then because I couldn't find the signature, but I did get this signed. I then had quite a few books for Danielle L. Jensen. I've actually been collecting the US editions of the new covers of the Bridge Kingdom. They're very similar art-wise to the UK editions, but I don't know if it's showing up. They have like this metallic-y sheen bit on this middle section that I quite like. Really randomly, book 5 came out last year whilst I was there in this paperback, so I picked up book 5 but not the rest of them because it was actually cheaper for me to get the US editions in the UK and ship them over than it was for me to buy the US editions whilst I was there. Long story, but I got book 5 signed last year and book 6 released just as I was there, so I had to obviously pick this up. This I didn't actually take with me, sorry, I did actually buy this whilst I was there at Barnes & Noble, but I'm including it here because I'm talking about all my other Danielle L. Jensen books. And then I took the other 4 with me, so I ordered these to the UK, got them months and months and months ago, and then took them with me to get signed. So books 1, 2, 3 and 4. 5 I got signed last year, 6 I picked up to get signed whilst I was there. I only took 1 book for release cover, unlike last year where I took like most of the books I took with me, or at least cover books. This year I just took the 1 because most of them are signed now, and this is my copy of Dragon Curse. This is the UK first print edition, I think. And then the last book that I took with me was my US first print edition of Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. I've got the other one signed, but this one I haven't seen her since this book came out, so I hadn't had it signed. Unfortunately, I didn't actually get to meet Rebecca Yarros. My number never got called, and I could have queued at the end of the day. I'm kind of glad I didn't, looking back, because I think she signed for a few extra hours, which is lovely, but I don't think she got through everybody. I did see some people managing to go the day after. I decided to just like go to bed. I was so tired. So what I did end up doing is getting this stamped. Rebecca had like a very specific Apollycon 2026 stamp. So I thought, that's fine, my others are signed, I'll just get this stamped and then I don't have to queue to see her. Before we dive into all of the books that I picked up at the signing, there's just a couple that I picked up at Barnes & Noble. I did include these in the vlog, so I'm going to just whiz through these ones. Last year I picked up the US edition of Exquisite Ruin by Adrian May. This is Minotaur Monstery Romance, which I'm very excited to read, but it has that really gorgeous metallic sheen that some US paperbacks have, and it came with sprayed edges. So whilst I was there this year, I happened to notice they had book 2, and I don't know if this is going to show up as well. They are both metallic-y in person, but yeah, this one definitely I can kind of tell from the reflection that I can see that it's not showing up as much, but it does have the sprayed edges. So of course, as soon as I saw that they had the matching edition, I had to pick it up. One of my favourite books of all time, and a book that's severely underrated, is The Grey Shear by Kim Liggett. This is a YA dystopian standalone, by the way, in case anybody's interested in why I love it so much. But I really like the pink cover. This isn't the perfect cover by any stretch of the imagination, but it is so much better than the UK one in my opinion. So obviously whilst I was there, I had to pick this up, and it is really floppy. I saw this beautiful paperback exclusive of Silver Elite. I believe this is the first print edition, the US first print edition, but it has sprayed edges and all this gorgeous foiling on it, so obviously I bought this. Again, this is a US first print edition. This is Half City by Kate Golden with some sprayed edges, and it is deliciously floppy. I loved this book. It's one of my favourite reads of the year so far, and I had tried to pre-order this edition in the UK, but my pre-order got cancelled because obviously it's not supposed to ship here, so I picked this up at a Barnes & Noble whilst I was there. And the last thing I picked up, this is actually a book I can't buy here. They don't have a UK publisher, and I never see this. There's probably a way I can get it, but I just haven't. This is An Archive of Romance by Ava Reid. It includes a bunch of kind of extra bits, artwork, chapters, letters, all from A Studying Drowning, which is one of my favourite series. So obviously whilst I was there, I had to pick this up because I can't get this here. So I needed a copy. Let's dive in to all of my pre-orders and then just books I bought on the day. These are going to be in no specific order. I'll try and remember whether it was a pre-order or just something I picked up or whether it was in a bag, but these are all the books that I didn't take with me and I didn't get from Barnes & Noble essentially. I'm going to start off with 2 special editions that I got for being a Primal ticket holder. They were in the Primal bag, or they were in like my registration. They were either in the lug bag, like the event bag, or the Primal bag. There was a lot of different bags, okay? I didn't keep everything that was in the bag. I've got a couple of other books that came in it, but it is like books that are donated by authors that are going, some special editions that are Apollycon exclusives. There's a couple of different things. Some of the stuff I just could not bring home because of the sheer amount that I had, so I gave it to people that were at the event, and then some of the stuff that I brought home I've kind of given to friends and things because it wasn't quite for me, but they wanted it. But the ones that I've kept from the bag, I've been collecting these Apollycon paperbacks of this series. So I've got all of them actually, but the first 3 I think I got through their like online signing that they do. So I've got all of those. Really happy to have War of Two Queens because I was expecting to get this one last year, and then last year it was A Shadow in the Ember. So excited that I've got the next one in the collection, and these are all colourway changes, but I think they're really cool, and I got this one signed. So that one I was expecting, or something within that series, in an Apollycon exclusive paperback. This I wasn't expecting. This is A Crown of Ruin, which is a novella. I seem to think I've read everything from the From Blood and Ash world, including all the novellas, but I don't recall this one, so I don't know if this is new potentially or if I've just missed it. I very much could have missed it. This is a beautiful foiled edition with a sprayed edge as well, and this one I also think, yes, I took to get signed. I'm just going to get this next one out of the way because I cannot show you the front cover of this book. I'm sure they've done partial reveals on their social media, so if you want to go and see it, please do, but it has some very spicy artwork on the front cover. I'm going to show you the back cover. This is the Grim Gates event exclusive edition for Apollycon, and we didn't know what this was until we got there, and it is a beautiful edition of From Blood and Ash. So if you want to see the cover of this, by all means go and have a look on the Grimgate social media. They do very spicy artwork special editions, and they do lots of other books as well. They're all limited editions, so I think they're completely sold out of anything they've done so far, but you can definitely keep an eye on them if they're doing an event near you, or if they do like a one-off box or a subscription that you might want to pick up. The edition also has black pages, which I thought was a really cool, unique little element, and I took this copy to get signed as well. Another book I got in one of the bags was The Wraith King by Juliet Cross. I thought this was a standard paperback edition, but it has got kind of printed edges which give it this effect. I have been wanting to read this. I've got a special edition novella that was sold at Apollycon not last year, I feel like the year before, but it's got a novella from Emma Hamm, Zoe Draven, and then Juliet Cross, and I think it has a novella that's set before this, and I really, really enjoyed it. So I haven't dove into the rest of the series yet, but I did really enjoy the novella that I've read in that book that is connected to this world, so I'm excited to dive into this. This next book came in the brunch bag, and actually it's kind of lucky that I didn't pick this up, because I was going to pick this up in Barnes & Noble, and all of my friends managed to grab a copy and it sold out, but then it was in the brunch bag, which was kind of lucky for me. So that is Bloodbound by Ellis Hunter. This is the US first edition, just in case anyone's wondering. It does have a blue version of the cover on the reverse dust jacket. I know the UK edition is red and blue on the cover, and then this also has some gorgeous end page art. Ellis Hunter wasn't there, so I didn't manage to get this signed, but I'm definitely planning on seeing them at some point, so I'm going to keep my hands on it until I see them. I don't know why I've included this next one. I'm going to include it, but I didn't technically get this in the US. I picked this up in Barnes & Noble. This is the US first edition of Rings of Fate by Melissa de la Cruz. I picked this up and then I ended up putting it down because I found out I could pre-order this on, or just order it on Blackwell's for shipping to the UK, and it was a couple of more pounds, and I was like, you know what, another hardback in my case is probably going to tip me over the edge, and I genuinely wouldn't have been able to fit this in my case. So I didn't really get this in the US, but the only reason I didn't get this in the US was because of like the weight. But I did pick this up, put it in my Barnes & Noble basket, and then at the last minute go, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm going to have to leave you. But I did order it whilst I was in the Barnes & Noble store on Blackwell's for delivery to my home, so I'm counting this as a US purchase. Alexis Patton was at the event, and this author's books have been traditionally published recently. These haven't actually released. I think they've probably released by the time you're watching this, but at the time of the event they hadn't. Luckily, the on-store Barnes & Noble had a couple of the US first print editions on site early, and I think they did the same thing at another book convention like the week before, so I queued up really early. I was desperate to get my hands on a copy of this. This is a dystopian series that's being republished, and I'm super excited to read it, and Alexis was super lovely as well. Apollycon gets me every time with the fact that they put an arcane edition of book 2 of something in the bag. Last year it was the Wicked trilogy. They put book 2 in the bag, and then they had book 1 and 3 for sale down at the desk. This year they've done paperback, and I actually really love the fact they've done paperback special editions of the, I think this is called the Summer King trilogy. These are all quite short, like they are full-length novels, but they are shorter. I have never read this one. I am a pretty big JLA fan. This one came in the bag, and then I saw books 1 and 3, so obviously I picked these up as well. So I did pick up book 1, The Prince, and book 3, The Queen as well. So they look really, really cool together. I do like these. They are really nice. I like the fact that they're quite small and that they're like little paperback special editions, and I quite like the fact that the edges are all cute and everything. So I'm not mad that I bought these, but I wish they'd stop putting book 2. I saw so many people either being like, well, I've got to have 1 and 3 now, or they were like, does anybody want 2, because I don't want it. So yeah, I tell you what, it's clever. I ended up buying books 1 and 3. Would I have picked these up if they weren't in the bag? Maybe. I do really like JLA, and this is a series that I haven't read, but I was definitely prompted into going buying them because I felt like I had to, because I couldn't have an unmatched set. My biggest pre-order of the day was for Melissa K. Roherick. So last year when I went to go and see her, these, by the way, are like some of the heaviest paperbacks I've ever felt in my life. I picked up book 1, Lady of Darkness, and then the 2 novellas, Unrelenting Winds and The Reaper, last year from her. She doesn't do these editions if she comes to UK events because it's owned by a publisher in the UK, so I don't think she can sell these here, and she can't ship them from her US online site. So trying to get these in the UK is becoming a little tricky. I could do a forwarding service, but while she was there I thought I'd pick them up. So I bought book 1 and the novellas last year, which meant that this year I bought book 2, Lady of Shadows, book 3, Lady of Ashes, book 4, Lady of Embers, book 5, Lady of Starfire. These are so heavy. Really, really excited to have all of those on my shelf now. That wasn't it. I wasn't done. I also picked up they call these the like Melissa K. Roherick author exclusives. Artwork just threw itself at me. I keep needing to, oh god, hello. I need to keep an eye out for things flying out of most of these books, because lots of authors very, very kindly put lots of lovely artwork in there. I'm just getting like smacked with it every 3 seconds. This is a brand new book in the same world. So if you didn't know, the Lady of Darkness, the what is that series called? The Reign of Shadows and Endings. Can't remember the series name. And then this series, the Avonlea series, are all connected in the same world. And I don't know if there's a specific order to read them in, but I'm just reading them in publication order, which I assume makes sense. So I did pick up another edition of this book, which I'll show you in a second, but I had to pick up this beautiful paperback. I've really been enjoying collecting these foiled, like, indies. So knowing that I had the entire Lady of Darkness series, obviously I had to pick up this one too. I also picked up this edition of Tortured Souls, which is absolutely beautiful. This is her event exclusive. She usually does event exclusives for the whole year, so this is her 2026 exclusive. I did actually, I don't think you can see it, behind me, I have her 2024 or 5 edition of Reign of Shadows and Endings that I grabbed the other year. I don't think she's finishing that series now because it's been picked up, but it's still a really beautiful like version to have book 1 in that series. So I picked this up as well, and actually this and that one together look incredible. And then something I've not picked up before. I've met Melissa K. Roherick quite a few times, and for some reason this has never drawn me in, but now, maybe it's because I've actually read Lady of Darkness now. This is a compilation of like interviews, character art, author, like profile-y bits. There's all kinds of stuff in here. This is like a little collection of bonus content for Lady of Darkness, which I've read this year and loved, so obviously picked this up too. One I wasn't planning to pick up, but my friends pre-ordered, and I think Laura picked this up last year, and I eyed it up then, and I eyed it up this year when Rosie got it, and I was like, well, if both my friends are going to have it, I need to get it too. This is Between the Pines by Amber Palmer, and it's her beautiful like foiled event edition. I'm gonna have to get the rest of these now, I think. This is a cowboy romance. I got 2 cowboy romances. Who am I? Look, I'm hearing the most incredible thing about Holly Renee's Cowboy Casual. Happened again. Oh, there's loads of things in here. I'm gonna have to hold that tighter. She has a web exclusive of this with the black cover that's the normal and then the pink edges, but I really like this pink event exclusive with the black edges. Holly Renee's like pink branding is so on point. I just want to like pink whenever I'm around Holly Renee. And I've heard the most incredible things about this, and book 2 is pretty close to coming out, I think. So 2 cowboy romance picks for me this year. One of my other larger pre-orders was for Emma Hamm, whom you guys know I love. I talk about her all the time on this channel. Last year I picked up books 1, 2 and 3 in her Whispers of the Deep series, and then the book 1 special edition of her Troll series, which at the time was brand new. I actually blind pre-ordered that because I didn't know what it was going to be. She didn't announce it until like we were there. She was like, mystery pre-order, it's a good book. I was like, I believe you, I really do. I would read anything you write. However, on the way home last year, my Song of the Abyss copy got bashed up, so I did purchase a new one of these to pick up when I got there. These are the most beautiful paperbacks. Love the foiling, but they also have this really cool like fold out little flap with some artwork in there. So this is book 3, Song of the Abyss. And then the books in this series that weren't out last year, so she didn't have editions for them, was Call of the Fathoms. And I think this is the only one in the series I haven't read yet. This is Secrets of the Void. I love how like bright green this foiling is. Then I mentioned last year I picked up the sprayed edge special edition of book 1 in her Troll romance series. So this year I picked up book 2. Special edition of her Troll romance series. I also can't forget that I pre-ordered a little like plushie of Arges, which is her merman from book 1. Look, my husband was cackling when I brought this home. I love it so much. Another author I see quite regularly is Zoe Draven. I really love some of her stuff, particularly when I'm just wanting something super smutty. And she had a, I don't know if this is an event exclusive or a special edition you can get elsewhere, but nonetheless it's a special edition paperback of The Horde King of Shadow. This one I have read and really loved, but I don't know if the rest of the series is out yet. If it is, I haven't read the rest of it, but I have read this one. This has this really cool effect that I don't think is going to show up. Like it's almost this matte foiling. I don't know. It looks really cool, and this has sprayed edges. Similarly, an author I always make sure to go and see at signings if they're there is Luna Laurier, and this year she had a beautiful new paperback special editions. I have some hardback special editions of this series. Don't know if you can tell, I've really been vibing with paperbacks recently. They save so much space on my shelves. So when I saw that she had this one and she mentioned she was doing the rest of them, also the sprayed edges are absolutely incredible. Me and Rosie were literally leaving the signing room on our second day. We've been so good. We were like, we're not buying any more books. We're good. We're done. We saw this and was like, screw. We both got a copy. It's beautiful. I'm glad I picked it up. I mentioned earlier I had a couple more books for Sonia Odette, and here they are. I already had, okay, bear with me. I already have the hardbacks, the indie hardbacks of the Fae Flings and Corset Strings series. This is one of my favourite cozier Fae fantasies I've read just ever. It is so fantastic. And my friend Rosie actually got me onto this, so it felt correct that she was there whilst I bought it. And although these normal indie editions are pretty special, this one has the foiling on here, and there is artwork under the jacket that is exactly the same, but this one also has sprayed edges. So I was like, well, obviously I could get rid of my indie copies and buy some other indie copies with foiling and sprayed edges. So that is exactly what I did. So I picked up Rivalry of Hearts, which is book 1, and My Feral Romance, which is book 2, and this gorgeous like rose gold. Oh, it's just doing it for me. The biggest surprise for me last year was quite simply J.R. Ward. That woman is A, incredible, but B, like, I want whatever she's having for breakfast. I felt so bad that I had never read Black Dagger Brotherhood, and I have been reading some more. I keep calling them like historic series. I don't mean historic fantasy. I mean like they haven't come out in the past few years. So I think Black Dagger Brotherhood was releasing in the early 2000s. I didn't pick that one up. I very almost did, but J.R. Ward does have a brand new release out, and they had this gorgeous first print edition of it. This is the Crown of War and Shadow. So also like just the sprayed edges are beautiful, and I saw some character art which I will, oh, this also has, also has a foiled hardback and character art on the end pages. I saw some really beautiful overlays which I'll show you shortly for this book, and then that did me in. I was like, well, I have to have it now. A new to me author this year was Emily Blackwood. I am so excited to read all of these Emily Blackwood books. I have been seeing this series absolutely everywhere. This is Wings So Wicked and Blood So Brutal. I wanted to go see Emily Blackwood anyway. I'd marked her as like a if I have time to go see on the day on my spreadsheet, and then I saw these in the Barnes Noble and it just like shot to the top of my brain, and I was like, no, I do need to get these. So I bought them. The author was lovely as well, and these look right up my alley, so I can't wait to give these a read. And as you know, I've been trying to find some more indie authors to recommend to you guys, and a lot of the indie authors that I love have been trad pubbed, so I'm going to be giving these a read and hopefully recommending them to you. What I didn't plan for was buying an additional Emily Blackwood book. I got up to her table and the foiling on this sent me, and then I saw that it said advanced reader copy on it, and then I said, oh, can you tell me what this one's about? Because she had little signs on her table that like was talking about all the different books, and she went, oh well, you know, it's a dystopian, and I was like, sold. She was like, do you want to hear the rest? I was like, no. I was like, dystopian, sold. I think she also writes kind of darker romance. Wings So Wicked is like a dark fantasy romance. As soon as I heard like dark dystopian romance, sold. But I was like, gimme, yeah, I'll take it. I'll take 5. I mean, I didn't take 5, I just took the 1 because I didn't have the space. But I did in fact take 1, and there's so much artwork in here. It looks so good. One of my other bigger pre-orders for the event was for SM Gaither. I really like the character art paperback editions that she does. If you like these as well and you're not seeing her at a signing, keep an eye on her Etsy because she occasionally does like bonus stock on there. So I picked up What Blooms from Death and book 2, What Echoes in the Dark. And then I also picked up Flame and Sparrow and Ash and Feather, which is a completed duology as well. I have read her other series. Oh my god, what is it called? It's a 5-book series. I read and enjoyed that one, but so many people have told me that this one is better. So I can't wait to dive into this one, and What Blooms from Death has been on my TBR since the book came out. That's actually like my 4th or 5th copy of it by now, so I need to read that immediately. Another series I've been hearing lots of really positive things about, and from a new to me author, this is Marked by Masks and Secrets and Claimed by Fangs and Darkness by Maggie Sunseri. I believe this is a completed dark fantasy, romance, vampire, stalker situation. Either way, it looks delicious. Saw lots of good things about this one, and the author was lovely, and these are a copy that I pre-ordered. The author has another duology as well, which I was eyeing up, but at this point I was like so weighed down with books. I was like, I cannot possibly take any more, so I just picked up my pre-order. I pre-ordered 2 books at the Mystic stand, the Mystic Arcane stand, which is a special edition company, one of my favourites if you haven't heard of them before. One of the books wasn't available. It got stuck at like shipment somewhere, so they're going to ship those out. The one that I ordered that wasn't available was the What Blooms from Death edition by SM Gaither. Yeah, you heard me right, a second one. I was going to take that to get signed on the day, but it didn't arrive in time for the event, so they're going to ship those out. But the one I was able to collect was their edition of Slaying the Shadow Prince by Helen Scheurer. You guys know I love Helen Scheurer. When they announced this, I had this thing where I was like, oh my god, imagine if she's there. She was not there. I was really hoping she was going to be there, but she wasn't. I don't think you can see them behind me, but in a recent video where I spoke about like my favourite editions of my favourite series, the Arcane editions of Blood and Steel are actually my favourites at the moment, so it's nice to have these to match. And I think books 3 and 4, like the add-on box that they did, have recently shipped out or just about to ship out, so I should have a full set really soon. Next up is a book I actually picked up on the day. I would have pre-ordered this if I saw it, but I did not see it, and it looks incredible, and it is Hunted by the Demon's Vow by A.N. Caudle. Look at this special edition. Isn't this the most beautiful thing you've ever seen? She also let you pick what Sharpie colour she'd sign it in, which I really appreciated. And it has stunning artwork in here. Oh my god, I didn't see the reverse on the day. Are you kidding me? This beautiful all black cover. A.N. Caudle, you didn't need to go so hard. Okay, A.N. Caudle, I'll read the book, alright? I'll read it. I'm already seeing, this is a brand new release and I'm seeing so many positive reviews for this already, so I am excited to give this a read, and then I saw this on the day and I was like, well, I can't leave you there, can I? So A.N. Caudle was a bit of an unplanned stop, but one that me and Rosie made, and we both picked up a copy. Victoria Aveline, author of my favourite and the world's best alien romance series, the Clickanian series, was there, so obviously I have to go and buy some books. I actually pre-ordered these. I have the first 4 already that I picked up from her at Rare Edinburgh. So this time I picked up Using Feo, and I've been collecting the hardbacks. She also had Resisting Maxu and Releasing Maledek, so I picked up both of these. She hasn't done the rest of them in these discreet covers yet, so I'm hoping I'm going to see her at a signing in the near future. I was going to show these in the artwork, but I'll just show them here. There's also page overlays for Using Feo and Releasing Maledek. She hasn't done them for the other book though, Resisting Maxu, just yet. And something I love that Victoria Aveline does, and I cannot for the life of me find the rest of them. I know I have these somewhere. I got them at Rare Edinburgh and I can't find them, and I'm so sad. But she does these School of Husbandry. If you've read the series, this is going to make sense. If you haven't, just ignore it. So this is like the Tremantian School of Husbandry for Maxu, and it says like his scores. It's so cute. And then I've also got Tetran School of Husbandry for Maladek, the Vrulactican School of Husbandry for Sikdan. I'll show you that one in a second because I have got another edition. And then the Tremantian School of Husbandry for Feo as well. I love the fact. And these are such lovely quality. They've got the stickers on the back. What have I done with the other ones? I cannot find them. I'm heartbroken. I am like desperately searching for them at the moment. And then Victoria Aveline, I think she did this as a Patreon exclusive. And I am a patron actually of Victoria Aveline's. I only subscribe to 2 patrons, but Victoria Aveline is one of them. But she did actually have this available at Apollycon. So obviously I pre-ordered it. I've just realised there's a very spicy reverse dust jacket that I can't show you, but just trust me that it looks great. I am a ruling Sikdan girly. I was wondering like why has she done this one and not the others, but I think this one is the most popular one and I get it. Like the story of this is fantastic. All of them are fantastic, but I can totally see why she's done this one because I know most people prefer this one out of the whole series. This is When the Stars Were Devoured by Stephanie Blair, and I think this is actually a debut for the author. I started seeing this on Instagram because of all the beautiful artwork that the characters that the author has had done for the characters. And like for example there was this beautiful bookmark in the book on the day, so just to show you, like, go and check out the look of this book. The artwork has sold me. These characters look incredible. This is one of him all like look, go and look at the book. I'm seeing Stephanie Blair at another signing later this year and apparently she has book 2 on her at that signing, so I'm excited to get the next one signed as well. An author I've seen a few times and almost bought books from a few times and just never have, only because these books, she must print them. They're very special, don't get me wrong, but they are quite expensive to pick up, so I've just never done it. This time I was like, I have to, I'm here, she's here. I picked up a copy of Invoking the Blood by Callista Neath. I also saw Callista Neath on a panel and she was hilarious, and then I was like, well now I have to. This is like the dark version. She has like the black version and then like a white version of the book, and they have the different characters on the edges. So this has the male main character on the end. This looks real juicy. I've heard really positive stuff about this. It's been around for a little while, but I've been seeing this like gorgeous floppy indie hard look paperback for the longest time. So I think this was $50, but $55. I'm glad I got it. Look, hey, it's beautiful and the edges are incredible. I think I just have 2 books left. There's definitely books I've forgotten. I know for a fact in the comments someone's going to be like, oh, but you said you were taking this. Did you? Yes, I did. I probably took it and got it signed. I've just clearly forgotten. Oh! I have got 2 more books after this. I've just seen them. See, this is what I mean. There's definitely stuff that I've just forgotten about. A book I'm really excited about is the new Kimberly Lemming Alien romance. I read the other one. This is I Punched an Alien and Now in Couples Therapy. This was actually I went to a Berkeley event and they had this in the Berkeley bag that I got as kind of part of going to that event. Also at that event I picked up a copy of Worthy of Fate by A.N. Caudle and took this to get signed. This wasn't out at the time, but the publisher just had a couple of early copies. You can tell I've been filming for a long time because I cannot get my words out. This also looks fantastic, and I believe this is the author's debut trad. So obviously they have other books, but I think this is their first trad release that I'm aware of. The final 2 books are 2 books that I took with me, and that is Butcher and Blackbird and Tory Season by Bryn Weaver. So Bryn Weaver was there signing, so I took these with me and got them signed, and I think I got chucked in like a bunch of stickers. So yeah, I did. There's a whole bunch of stuff just stuck in here. And Bryn was the loveliest, like really super nice. I haven't read either of these yet, but they have been high on my list for a long time. So maybe this is a push I need to get to reading them. That is all the books. I have a couple of pieces of like merchandise that I'm going to show you. Before I do anything else, I have to highlight one of my favorite, in fact, probably the only place I will buy bookish jewelry from, and that is Between the Pages, also MAC jewelry, I think. I'll leave a link in the description to her page. If you're looking for like impeccable quality bookish jewelry, I'm talking like real silver and gold, you know, real gems. They are so incredibly beautiful. They also have, like, if you're in the mood to just drop a couple thousand, the most beautiful bridal sets. Like, they're just so talented, so beautiful. Every time I see something that they make, I am in awe. And I actually bought my first pieces from them last year. I got a couple of pieces. If you didn't know, I've lost quite a lot of weight in the past year, so none of my rings fit anymore. And there was a couple others that I wanted to pick up. Some of them I could have got resized, like the one that I've got on this finger, which I'll show you in a second. So I actually got a version of this ring last year, but it had a black diamond in it. That was one that was easy to be resized. My friend really wanted a piece of jewelry from them on the day, but unfortunately had like spent up. Didn't quite have enough, so I have given her my ring with the black diamond in, so it's kind of nice we have like matching ACOTAR rings. She also does these really fantastic bands that have bookish quotes on them. So I have one that says on the outside, to whatever end, and then on the inside I choose you fire heart. That one might be a bit tricky to resize, but it means a lot to me, so I'm going to try and do that. If not, it actually fits my husband, so maybe he can wear it. Whereas this year I picked one up that says you do not yield. She wasn't able to get me. I did actually message her beforehand to see if I could possibly get one of those made in my size, because obviously she just takes what she has on the day, and if it's not in your size, it's not in your size. But she managed to get one done for me, but not both, which is absolutely fine. So I now have my you do not yield on the to whatever end I couldn't get done in time. And then finally, and possibly my favourite new piece of jewellery, this is an Akatar ring. It was so much more, like I'd seen it online and it's gorgeous, but like it just called to me so much more when I was there in person. I think it helps that this one specifically is a lavender quartz, which is one of my favourite gems. But I saw this and I was like, oh my god, I have to try that on. She was like, oh, I'm really sorry, I literally have one of them. And I was like, that's fine, let me try it on. And it was a perfect fit, so I came home with that too. And then finally, from between the pages, I picked up a fire heart necklace last year. This year I've picked up a witchling one, and that is what I've been wearing the whole video as well. So if you've been eyeing that up and wondering where it's from between the pages. Let's dive on to some artwork and prints and things. I came home with a pretty hefty stack of Gemlin cards. I'm new to collecting Gemlin cards. I didn't know who Gemlin was until Apollycon last year, and when I saw like everybody going crazy for these cards, and ever since then I picked up a few at Apollycon last year. I've had some friends pick me some up at events and whatnot over the past year, and then I went a little bit crazy when I got there. First off, and I can't really show you this one, this has the spicy artwork on it from the front cover of the Grim Gates edition. So this is a Grim Gates metal card that came with the book, you know, the event exclusive, the spicy one I couldn't show you. This is the card that came with it, and it does have the spicy artwork like on the other side of this, and this is a metal one. She had freebies if you spent a certain amount, so I ended up getting the Fourth Wing cards. I got these last year, or I managed to pick up Violet last year as a freebie, but all the Xaden ones were gone when I was there, so I now have a spare Violet, but it's really nice to have a complete set for these ones. Some of the other freebies I've been slowly collecting. If you don't know this about me, I'm a huge K-pop Demon Hunters fan. I've been collecting the Saja boys, so I have all of the demon versions, and I think she's now started doing like the human versions. So I have Genu and Romance. I don't know if I'm missing any yet, but I got this as a freebie on the day as well. She has a Black Dagger Brotherhood collection that was given out in the welcome event bags, like the welcome talk event bags. This was such a nice thing to have in there. I had a water bottle and some other bits as well, but this was like clearly the most popular thing in that bag. Everybody was loving these. I haven't read Black Dagger Brotherhood, but after looking at some of these, I want to. It's so funny, I was like, I want to, because some of their names are like Vicious Fury and Rage with extra H's. I think I got a second set of these in a different bag, in the brunch bag maybe, I'm not sure. I think I got given a second pack of these. We'll see, I've got some other packs to go through. She did a Lady of Darkness collection, so obviously I have to go and pick these up. Then she has a pretty big From Blood and Ash collection. Some of the sets you could only buy in sets, so if they were like 5 ones, you could only buy all 5. I bought, maybe I got my extra, no. Maybe I got my extra Black Dagger Brotherhood as a freebie? I'm not sure. Somebody will let me know, I'm sure. But she has a huge From Blood and Ash collection. I couldn't afford to get all of them. So I thought, because of something I'll show you in a minute, I would get Seraphina and Nyctos. So these are the two that I got from there. And then the nostalgia got me. They had, these are so cool, Hunger Games ones. So I picked up all 3 of them. This is one of the ones that was in a set where you couldn't buy them individually. So Finnick, Peter, and then also Katniss. Another bit of nostalgia, this is the Twilight collection. So Jacob the wolf, Bella the lamb, I almost just called her the swan, but that is definitely not her name, and Edward the lion. They did have a Cullens pack as well, which I was eyeing up, but it had Charlie in it, and I really wanted Charlie, but they weren't selling Charlie on his own, and I didn't want to, like, I think at that point I was like so out of money at that point, spent so much, and I think that set was like $50 or $60, so I just stuck to these 3. And then she had like a gumball machine where you could pick a random set, so you paid an amount and then you got a random set, and it was like kind of stock from previous signings that they weren't doing, or like Grim Gates editions. So I don't actually know what the book is that I won, but the artwork has got me sold. This is Fair's Fair. I think they did a Grim Gates edition of this, but this looks like one for the horror fans. I just saw the masks on the characters' faces, and the fact that, who is this? My brain is emptied. The murderer on there. It's not Mike Myers, it's the other one with the chainsaw. Anyway, one for the horror fans. It looks fantastic, and now I want to read this. I'm going to save it for Halloween. I love like a masked man dark romance. And then in these little pouches, yes, so I do have a spare Black Dagger Brotherhood, so I'm going to maybe see if one of my friends wants this. I'm not sure if any of my friends missed out on these at the event, so if they did, I'll be giving them to them. And then in our primal bag was this beautiful little pair. this will match with the other From Blood and Ash ones I've got. And here we have Kieran. No, we don't. That's Castile. Here's Kieran. So these are the From Blood and Ash ones. Finally, I just have some overlays and some artwork to go through. I don't know how I missed these on the pre-orders or like on the list of people that I wanted to go and see. I didn't actually write this person down, but as we were walking around, I couldn't help but stop at these absolutely beautiful, and I'll show you all of them, couple prints. So the artist on these is called Judy Blue Creations. If they have a website, I'll try and mention it in the description. But she had an offer on for the first like 20 customers of the day, which for some reason me and Rosie like were walking on the first day, like we just got in and we walked past it and we went, oh, had to backtrack. So we happened to be one of the first purchases on the day, which meant that we got some freebies as well. So I ended up getting a favourite and Resan print. So this is one that I bought. I also picked up a Shield of Sparrows print, which is beautiful. They had an Alid and Lorcan, which if you know anything about me, you know I love Alid and Lorcan. They're one of my favourite book couples ever. So like, duh. And then the final one I paid for, they also had an offer on where you could get 4 for a certain price. So I picked up 4, is a Rowan and Aelin print. And then the deal that they were doing was, I think if you buy 2 prints, you get a freebie, and the freebies were ones that you couldn't buy. They were just kind of like one-off freebies, which was really cool. So I ended up getting this beautiful Quicksilver print. And then it took me a minute to place this one, mainly because I didn't picture Aurora as being this like busty and seductive, but they also had a Wolf King Night Prince one, which I grabbed as a freebie as well. This next one is overlays, so I hope they're easy enough to show. One of them I pre-ordered, the others I picked up on the day. So this artist said that she would be doing any of the art prints that she'd done like ever as overlays. We could pre-order them and just put in which one we wanted. So I actually ordered 2 overlays and I asked for her to do them like one art print but cut up. So this is Rave and Khan from When the Moon Hatched. And then on the day I grabbed quite a few as well. 2 I wasn't planning on getting, but then I saw the artwork. These ones are from Terror at the Gates, I believe. So I believe this is our female main character for Terror at the Gates, and then I think this has sold me, her with this kitten and this, and then this is the male main character from Terror at the Gates, I believe. If I've somehow misremembered that, somebody please let me know. This one is from J.R. Ward's new book. This is from The Crown of War and Shadows. This is the artwork that I mentioned earlier that I saw and was like, wow, oh my god, I pre-ordered that book. And then this one is another Rowan and Aelin. I think she had an offer on where if you got 3, the 4th one was half price or something like that, and I'd already got 3, so I was like, yeah, sure, fine, I guess I get a 4th one. I then also went over to Cupids and Cryptids. This is a perfumer, small business, and I think it's a married couple, and he does the perfumes, and I think she does the artwork that goes along with them. So they have like an original line of like their own characters that the scents go along with, and I think they had a gaming line with some popular gaming characters, but I ended up picking up something from their Bookish line because of course I would, and I actually picked this up for my husband. A lot of their scents were quite masculine, or more masculine than I would wear, and then the ones that were more feminine scents were very, very sugary and sweet and good, but probably not something I would wear every day. I'm just like quite a light fragrance person, and these smelled beautiful, but they just weren't, none of them were for me, and I was heartbroken. And then I remembered I could buy one for my husband. So I don't know if my husband likes this, he hasn't smelt it yet, but I like how it smells, and this is how I would like my husband to smell. I've picked up, this is called Phoenix. I think it's based on an original character that the couple that own the business have come up with, but it smells like fantastic. I think it was described as like a bougie s'mores. There's something smoky about it. It's lovely. The final things, I've definitely missed something. There's going to be a book. I'm going to stop filming and I'm going to be like, oh, look at that stack of books, or look at that thing that I bought. And I've just remembered something I bought. Bear with me. I'm going to show you these, and then if I have the other thing, I'll show it you, but I don't actually have the other thing is in the wash. So I did pick up a couple of pieces of Bookish apparel. This one is from YGG Threads. I will tag them in the description of this video. They don't ship internationally. And I was like, what do you mean you don't ship internationally? She was like, yeah, I'm going to figure it out. I was like, please do, because she had so much stuff that I wanted. But I ended up going, it was right at the end of the day, because on the second day, you have set places where you have to be. So you're in one room for half the day and then in the other for the other half. This was in the room I was in for the afternoon. And by the time I got to her, she had 2 things left for sale. Luckily, this one, which I wanted the most, was in my size. This says bring back yearning, which like, bring it back, babes. But she does such gorgeous, like bookish embroidered bits and bobs that I really loved. So I'm trying to desperately order some bits from her some of her other stuff that I couldn't get on the day. And then she also had these little keychains with the same thing, Bring Back Yearning, and the little book on the other side, so I grabbed one of these as well. I did pick up one other t-shirt in the actual convention, so I'm just going to see if I have that. I can't remember if it's been washed or it's in the wash, so bear with me. And then the final t-shirt I bought is indeed in the wash, but I'll put a picture up of it next to me. This was a Stasia Stark t-shirt that I almost pre-ordered so many times and then just didn't end up doing so. Oh, I've just seen a pile of stuff. We'll go through the pile of stuff in a second. This is the final t-shirt then, let's say. I could have pre-ordered this, I didn't, but then I saw loads of people wearing them on the day and they looked so nice in person, and I was like, right, fine. So I marched my booty on over to the stand and got one of these as well. I really loved We Who Will Die. It is one of my favourite reads of the year, so I had to grab a t-shirt to go with it. Last few things, I promise. I keep forgetting little bits and bobs, and I've got like piles of things around the room. I grabbed a couple of book plates just for authors whose books I didn't take or haven't bought yet. I did so many more book plates last year. I think this year I got more overwhelmed. I've already mentioned I was a bit more stressed. I might have mentioned that in my vlog. Was a bit more stressed this year than usual. Don't know why. I think I just like took too many books and bought too many books and like was stressing about getting them all signed. I just did a bit more than I did last year. So this year I came back with less book plates. But just to go through who these are, so I picked up 2 signed book plates from Annalie Sprana. These I'm going to put in Law of the Wild and Law of the Tides. Took me a moment to remember the name of book 2 then. These Stasia Stark book plates are actually for my friend Emma, who wanted me to grab some. And then this bottom one I believe is Emily Howard. Normally, just a tip for you guys, I write the name of the authors on the back so I know who they are. I forgot to write this one, but I think the only other person I went to go and see for book plates was Emily Howard. Just because I haven't read her books yet, but they do look right up my alley. So those are my book plates. I didn't get any books from Bookish Box because I had a lot of the ones that they had, but I did go ahead and pick up their like e-reader keychain. They had 2. They had like a romance reader one and a fantasy reader one. This is a fantasy reader one, so this is the one I picked up because I am mainly a fantasy reader, but I thought this would look so cute on the back of a Kindle. Then whilst we were in Barnes & Noble, I think Laura saw somebody post about these on Instagram and we happened to be going like later that day. They had some ACOTAR like charging port charms. I love these for I don't really use them for my phone, but I do charge my phone magnetically, so maybe I'll use one of these in my phone, but I actually use these for my Kindle, so I picked up those. And then also in Barnes & Noble, they had like a little Shield of Sparrows sticker pack, which I thought was super cute, so me and Rosie both picked up one of these too. And now that is everything. It definitely isn't. I've definitely forgotten something, but I have done my best. I have covered as much as I physically can. There was over 60 books, and some merch and some art prints and some stuff. I had such a fantastic time. If you're still here at the end of the video, leave me a bat emoji in the comments, like a little bat the animal. And if you want to see how I got on, how I did all of this, what else I got up to in the States when I was at Apollycon, then the vlog is up on my page. You can go and have a look for it, or I will link it at the end of this video as well. But other than that, I will see you in the next one.